Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wish I never knew. Today we will be talking about the most requested topic. If you like such videos, drop a heart in the comment section, like, share and subscribe to the channel. Imagine walking through a city where the streets are completely empty, where schools, homes, and hospitals still stand, but not a single person remains. Around the world, there are places that were once full of life but are now frozen in time. Welcome to the channel. I wish I never knew. Today, we'll explore 10 abandoned cities whose stories are as fascinating as they are haunting. At number 10 we have Kolmanskop, Namibia. Our journey begins in the middle of the Namib Desert. Hidden beneath endless sand dunes lies Kolmanskop, a town that once attracted fortune seekers from around the world. In 1908, diamonds were discovered here, transforming this remote settlement into one of Africa's wealthiest communities almost overnight. Luxurious homes, a hospital, a school, and even a ballroom were built in the middle of the desert. But prosperity didn't last forever. When richer diamond deposits were discovered elsewhere, families slowly packed their belongings and left. Over time, the desert reclaimed everything. Today, golden sand pours through broken windows and fills entire rooms, creating one of the world's most surreal ghost towns. From a town buried beneath sand, we travel to a place abandoned because of something far more dangerous: radiation. At number 9 we have Pripyat, Ukraine. Just a few kilometers from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant lies Pripyat, one of the most famous abandoned cities on Earth. Built in 1970, the city was home to nearly 50,000 people, many of whom worked at the nearby nuclear plant. Life here was modern and comfortable, until April 26, 1986. Following the catastrophic reactor explosion, residents were told they would be gone for only a few days. They left their homes, schools, and personal belongings behind, expecting to return soon. But they never did. Nearly 4 decades later, nature has transformed Pripyat into a haunting reminder of one of history's worst nuclear disasters. At number 8 we have Sanja UFO houses, Taiwan. Along Taiwan's northern coastline stands one of the world's strangest abandoned developments. Known as the Sanja UFO houses, these futuristic pod-shaped buildings were designed in the late 1970s as a luxury seaside resort. Their colorful, circular architecture looked like something from a science fiction movie. But before the project could be completed, financial problems brought construction to a halt. Over time, the unfinished buildings were left exposed to the elements. Rain, humidity, and years of neglect transformed this once ambitious vision into an eerie ghost complex that fascinated urban explorers from around the world. So far, we've explored cities swallowed by deserts, radiation, and failed dreams. But the next 3 abandoned places tell even stranger stories of isolation, economic collapse, and nature slowly reclaiming everything humans once built. At number 7 we have Hashima Island, Japan. Just off the coast of Nagasaki lies Hashima Island, better known as Battleship Island because of its distinctive shape. Once one of the most densely populated places on Earth, this tiny island was built around an underwater coal mine. Thousands of workers and their families lived in tightly packed concrete apartment buildings. The island had schools, shops, restaurants, and even a movie theater, all within a space smaller than many city parks. But when Japan shifted away from coal in the 1970s, the mine closed. Residents quickly left, leaving behind an entire concrete city surrounded by the sea. Today, abandoned buildings stand empty as crashing waves slowly wear them away. Our next destination was once a thriving mining town. Today, only a handful of people remain among hundreds of empty homes. At number 6 we have Pyramiden, Svalbard, Norway. High above the Arctic Circle sits Pyramiden, a Soviet-built mining settlement on the remote islands of Svalbard. At its peak, more than 1,000 people lived here, surrounded by snow-covered mountains and icy fjords. The town had everything its residents needed, including schools, sports facilities, apartments, and even a cultural center. But after the coal mine became unprofitable in the late 1990s, the community was abandoned almost overnight. Today, Frozen streets, empty buildings, and silent public spaces remain preserved by the Arctic climate, making Pyramiden one of the world's best-preserved ghost towns. From the icy Arctic, we head to the Mediterranean, where one beautiful village has remained completely untouched for decades. At number 5 we have Krakow, Italy. Perched high on a rocky hill in southern Italy is the breathtaking medieval town of Krakow. For centuries, families lived among its narrow stone streets, ancient churches, and historic buildings. But repeated landslides, earthquakes, and unstable ground gradually forced residents to leave their homes. By the late 20th century, the town had become completely abandoned. Today, Krakow's dramatic skyline attracts filmmakers, photographers, and travelers from around the world. Walking through its empty streets feels like stepping into another century, where every building tells the story of a community that once thrived. We've now reached the halfway point of our journey, but the cities ahead are even more extraordinary, including a place buried by volcanic ash and the abandoned city many consider the most haunting in the world. We've already explored ghost towns buried in sand, frozen in ice, and left behind after economic collapse. But the next 3 places tell even more dramatic stories of volcanic eruptions, war, and entire communities forced to leave forever. Number 4 Plymouth, Montserrat. We have the former capital of the Caribbean island of Montserrat. For many years, it was a lively city filled with homes, businesses, schools, and government buildings. Everything changed in 1995 when the Soufriere Hills volcano erupted after centuries of silence. Massive clouds of ash and volcanic debris buried much of the city, forcing thousands of residents to evacuate. Today, large parts of Plymouth remain frozen beneath layers of volcanic ash. Streets disappear beneath hardened debris, buildings stand partially buried, and nature slowly reclaims what was once the island's capital. It's one of the only modern capitals in the world to have been abandoned because of a volcanic disaster. Number 3 we have Varosha, Cyprus. At number 3 is Varosha, a district of the city of Famagusta in Cyprus. During the 1960s and early 1970s, it was one of the Mediterranean's most glamorous tourist destinations. Luxury hotels lined the beaches, celebrities visited regularly, and thousands of tourists filled its streets every summer. Everything changed in 1974 during the conflict on the island. Residents fled as fighting erupted, expecting to return within days. Instead, the area remained closed for decades. Time stood still, cars remained parked where they were left, hotels slowly decayed, and nature quietly took over. Although parts of Varosha have recently reopened, much of the district still serves as a powerful reminder of how quickly conflict can transform a thriving city into a ghost town. Before revealing our number 1 location, we visit a place where thousands of homes were simply left behind as industry disappeared. At number 2 we have Centralia, Pennsylvania, USA. At number 2 is Centralia, Pennsylvania, a town that slowly disappeared because of a fire that still burns beneath it. In 1962, a fire accidentally ignited inside an abandoned coal mine beneath the town. Despite repeated efforts to extinguish it, the underground fire continued spreading through miles of coal seams. Over time, dangerous gases and unstable ground forced residents to leave. Roads cracked apart, smoke escaped through the earth, and entire neighborhoods were abandoned. Today, only a handful of residents remain. Scientists believe the underground fire could continue burning for many decades, making Centralia one of the world's most unusual abandoned communities. We've reached the final stop, and the city at number 1 isn't just abandoned, it's become one of the most iconic ghost towns on the entire planet. Number 1 we have Bodie, California, USA. Taking the number 1 spot is Bodie, California, one of the most famous ghost towns in the world. Founded during the California Gold Rush, Bodie exploded into a booming mining town after gold was discovered nearby. At its peak, more than 10,000 people lived here. The town was filled with hotels, saloons, churches, schools, and busy streets crowded with miners hoping to strike it rich. But as the gold began to run out, businesses closed, Families moved away, and the once thriving town slowly fell silent. Harsh winters, fires, and decades of abandonment left Bodie frozen in time. Today, it's preserved in what's known as arrested decay. Homes still contain furniture, old shops remain stocked with dusty shelves, and classrooms look as if students simply walked out and never returned. Walking through Bodie feels less like visiting a museum and more like stepping directly into the past. It's a powerful reminder that even the busiest cities can disappear, leaving only memories behind. And that wraps up today's journey through the world's most fascinating abandoned cities. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read every comment, and your suggestions might even inspire our next video. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.